The orbital station of Syndralis hummed with life. Traders, mercenaries, diplomats, and wanderers moving through its docking bays in a chaotic ballet. For Jonathan Reed, a human Xenotech engineer contracted to the Galactic Coalition, this place was less a marvel of architecture and more a constant headache of malfunctioning life support systems, overworked plasma converters, and alien machines held together by duct tape and desperate prayers. Humanity had only been in the Coalition for 5 years, still considered the young species by the rest of the galaxy. John often felt that reminder in the subtle ways the aliens looked at him. Humans were scrappy, quick learners, but they weren't yet trusted as equals. John didn't mind. He wasn't here to prove humanity's dominance. He was here to fix things, make a living, and maybe, just maybe, find his place among the stars. On a particularly exhausting cycle, John was repairing a faulty grav stabilizer in Bay 12 when he first saw her. The alien woman was unlike anyone he had ever seen. Tall, easily 6.5 feet, with smooth silver-blue skin that shimmered faintly in the bay's artificial light. Her hair was a cascade of crystalline strands that seemed to shift colors as she moved. She wore a fitted combat suit, clearly tailored for her figure, yet reinforced in places with unusual crystalline plating. John had read about her kind before, the Veyari, a warrior clan species known for their elegance and ferocity. What the books hadn't mentioned was just how breathtakingly graceful they were in person. The woman's piercing violet eyes landed on him. "You are the human mechanic?" John straightened, trying not to look like he'd just crawled out of a vent. "Engineer." "Yeah, that's me. Jonathan Reed. You can call me John." She approached, every step deliberate. "I am Soria Veyari. My armor requires recalibration. It responds sluggishly. You will tend to it." John blinked. Straight to the point. "No, please. No small talk. Just a warrior's command." "Sure," he said, gesturing to the workbench. "Hop on up and I'll take a look." She removed the crystalline plating from her arm, exposing an intricate network of biocircuitry and muscle weave that pulsed faintly with light. John leaned closer, whistling low. "Wow, your suit isn't just tech. It's bonded with your physiology. That's amazing." Soria tilted her head. "Do humans often gawk at what they do not understand?" John grinned despite himself. "Only when it's gorgeous." The words slipped out before he could stop them. His heart lurched. Did he just flirt with an alien warrior who could probably crush him with one hand? Soria's eyes narrowed, her expression unreadable. For a long moment, silence hung between them. Then, unexpectedly, her lips curved into the faintest smile. "In my culture," she said slowly, "to speak of one's body in jest is considered bold, reckless even." John swallowed hard. "Reckless, huh? Guess that tracks for me." Her smile widened slightly. "And yet it amuses me." Middle. From that moment, their dynamic shifted. What began as a professional repair job became something stranger, an exchange of glances, dry remarks, and moments where John found himself dangerously close to forgetting she was not human. He worked on her armor carefully, recalibrating the crystalline lattice that amplified her strength and reflexes. "You've been pushing this thing beyond its limits," he muttered. "Of course," she replied. "What good is a weapon if it cannot endure battle?" John gave a short laugh. "And what good is a warrior if she ignores the guy keeping her weapon from blowing up?" Her violet eyes gleamed. "You claim importance for yourself, human? Not importance. Just relevance." He smirked. "Somebody's gotta keep you standing." To his surprise, Soria chuckled softly. It wasn't the harsh bark of a soldier, but something lighter, almost musical. Days turned into cycles, and Soria returned often, sometimes with armor damage, sometimes with questions about human engineering, and sometimes, John suspected, with no real reason at all. They began to talk. Really talk. She asked about Earth, about the oceans and forests she had never seen. He described sunsets, thunderstorms, and the smell of rain on dry soil. She listened intently, as if cataloging every detail. In turn, she spoke of Veari traditions, of the Rite of Blades, where warriors dueled not to kill but to test honor. She told him of crystalline cities grown from living mineral, of skies lit by auroras that never faded. John often found himself captivated, not just by her stories, but by her presence. She was fierce, yes, but also curious, thoughtful, and unexpectedly witty. One evening, while adjusting a delicate neural coupling, John made another impulsive remark. You know, for someone who calls herself a warrior, you've got ridiculously perfect posture. Like a dancer. Soria arched a brow ridge. A jest about my body again, human? John winced.
Sorry, didn't mean it that way.
But instead of anger, she tilted her head and said softly, Do not apologize. I told you before, your recklessness amuses me. No one among my people would dare speak so freely to me. Guess that makes me special, then. Her smile returned, sharper this time. Perhaps it does. But everything changed when the Threx Dominion attacked. The station shook as plasma fire rained against its shields. Sirens wailed, and coalition soldiers scrambled to defensive positions. John found himself clutching his toolkit instead of a rifle, heart pounding. He wasn't trained for combat, he fixed things, he didn't fight. Yet when Soria stormed into his workshop, armor gleaming with readiness, he knew he couldn't just stand back. Stay here, she commanded. This battle is not yours. Like hell it isn't, John shot back. If your armor fails mid-fight, you'll need me. Her eyes narrowed. You would place yourself in danger? For me. John met her gaze. Wouldn't be the first reckless thing I've said or done around you. For the first time, she didn't argue. Instead, she extended a hand, pulling him to his feet. Then stay close. And do not die, human. Climax. The battle in the docking ring was chaos. Threx warriors poured through breaches in the hull, armored in jagged exocets and wielding plasma blades. Coalition soldiers fought valiantly, but the enemy was relentless. Soria moved like a force of nature, her crystalline armor shimmering as she cut through foes with precision and fury. John stayed behind cover, patching damaged shields, rerouting power, and even jury-rigging a defense turret with shaking hands. At one point, Soria's gauntlet overloaded, its crystalline structure fracturing under the strain. She staggered, vulnerable. John sprinted to her side, sliding into cover beside her. Hold still, he shouted, tools flying from his kit. Sparks rained as he rewired circuits and stabilized the lattice. John, she barked. The enemy is closing. Yeah, and unless you want your arm to fry, you're gonna let me finish. Her violet eyes burned, but she didn't move. She trusted him. The Threx warrior lunged just as John sealed the repair. Soria surged to her feet, catching the enemy's blade mid-swing. With a roar, she shattered his weapon, then drove her crystalline blade through his chest. She turned back to John, chest heaving. You risked yourself again. John smirked through the adrenaline. Guess I like fixing things. Even if that thing happens to be you. For a heartbeat, she just stared at him. Then, right there, amid fire and chaos, Soria leaned close, her voice low.